Welcome back to some of the best stories from r/TalesFromTechSupport. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's take a look at the first story. It's called A What? I have worked for a few years on a ISP call center and later on in the back office. And while the stupidity of clients was unmatched, it was even more frustrating at times when receiving trouble tickets from the call center, since most of them had little to no knowledge about computers or the internet. This was back in the late 90s and early 2000s. One particular ticket read, "Client can't access the internet. It has one Uma Kidoshi." I was puzzled. I read and reread the ticket and could not for the life of me understand what the heck that was. I even showed the ticket to all my coworkers. No one was able to figure it out. I just started rambling about it, and it was only after I started talking out loud and asking myself over and over again, what the heck is a Uma Kidoshi? It finally hit me. The client had one Macintosh. If I had not started saying it out loud, I'm not sure I would have ever figured it out. The next story is called Not Working. I work at a car wash tech company. People call us all day long, telling us that something is broken and they need us to fix it. Anything from prices to soap timing to recharge plans, to barcode readers, to printers to... It's a nightmare. But overall, the job isn't bad. We even get some decent clientele, though very few actually know how to even use a computer. Some of the older sites still use DOS. I had a guy calling in, telling me his XPT, pay kiosk, is telling him that his FastPass reader is disabled. I worked with this guy for over an hour. Check cables, check power, check 30 different settings in his database. Check the Phoenix block connecting the FastPass. Nothing gets this error to go away. The thing is, I even enabled the XPT's maintenance mode. I finally get a video session. This part is my fault. Should have done it earlier, admittedly. I just happened to notice there's a big old blank space where the FP reader usually is. At this point I have my head in my hands and I ask, "Sir, does your site use FastPass?" And he replies with a quick and cheery, "Oh, no." I had to mute and laugh for a while before telling him to disable it in maintenance mode. At least he was nice, but my customers are on a different level of stupid. Over an hour, and this man didn't think it was important to mention that he doesn't use the thing that's having an issue. The third story is called Auditing. In my current job, IT is expected to change employee data upon request, or if we stumble upon a change that was missed. It's largely passive, based on tickets or emails that come in with a request. Recently, the HR department has been finding things that weren't updated right away, or were missed for one reason or another. We understand up to info is important, so we fulfill those things right away. However, there's been recent pressure for IT to constantly edit and reach out to supervisors about user data, to track the locations of various field employees and other people. People in the field sometimes just leave without an exit ticket being generated. In this case, a manager left and a ticket wasn't generated for several days. I tend to get frustrated when there are staff changes and we aren't told right away. And then HR freaks out access wasn't revoked. Why isn't this user's account disabled and direct reports changed? I don't see a ticket for it. When did the user leave? A week ago. Please make sure to audit their accounts and update all related user information. Can I request a ticket with affected users and what needs changing? We need this from the field director. Alright, can you contact the field director and have them generate the ticket? Okay, but you should have disabled the accounts. After making this update, other people asked me why I wasn't updating people. The mail is saying someone was promoted. I said it was set to change on a specific day in a month's time. They were a department head and were transitioning to the new role slowly to have a decent handover. The next story is called Percussive Maintenance. As part of my job, I look after these older machines that were made around the early 2000s. One of the parts included is a touchscreen. They are pretty solid after all these years. The only issue is there's a plastic case around to it on its edges. So after a while, things like dirt, grease or whatever could possibly get caught between the screen and the plastic surround. So we discovered quickly that the best fix is a little punch to the screen. Nothing too heavy, just enough to get it working again. One venue we looked after didn't like me. They thought they were more important than the rest of the town. Every now and again, I get the manager whinging why I wasn't there the moment the machine played up. I learned to ignore this. One day, he was complaining about the machine not responding to touch, threatening to throw it into the street, etc. I gave it a wipe over with some ISO alcohol, a friendly punch, and it's back and working. A couple of days later, I get a call from the bigwigs in the big city, saying they got a complaint from one of the venues. Apparently I was very angry at them and attacked the machine. Sitting there, I was scratching my head and asking myself when I was angry. It happens sometimes, but things lately have been fine. Then it hit me, punching the screen. When I explained the venue and the screen, they just laughed and said they sent the venue a copy of our repair procedures, proving it's an actual fix. The last story is called "You Have Caused This." I work at a rather large multinational company. We have an MSP helping with the daily mundane tasks and taking care of incidents that come along. Recently we had an instance where 90+ incidents got generated, because the monitoring solution detected a drift of over 60 seconds from the actual time. I was in another call before this whole issue started and could not drop off, because that was another storm I did not want on my horizon. By the time I joined the call to discuss the time issue, people on the call were already trying to figure things out. The network guy said, "I do not see any latency in the network going towards the AD servers or the NTP servers." The Windows team member said, "It's not a Windows issue. We need to figure out why the time shifted so much. AD team, tell us why your time source shifted." Our time source did not shift. In fact, we depend on info blocks, DNS, as our time source. Info blocks is the agreed time source for this. Then there was murmur about getting DNS to join the call. "Yes, tell me, you guys have a problem with time shifting?" "Yes, and due to that we have lost one jump host / bastion host." "Yeah, I'm looking at info blocks. We do not see that the time has shifted by any amount recently. You might have to take a look at your systems." The AD and Windows guys said, "But we have got incidents. So many of them. You need to tell us why this happened." At this point, I'm thinking, what the heck is going on? In the meantime, I take a look at the ticket queue and log into some servers that had a ticket raised for them about time shift. What I notice is the time has not shifted. Neither has any of the servers been pointed to the same time source. I was pretty confused at this point. Can someone get the monitoring team on this call? On it. "Hello team, tell me, how can I assist?" So we have 90+ incidents which were raised and got cleared in our systems for time shifts. Can you tell us more about why this happened? Please remember, no one is blaming you or the systems you manage. We just need to figure out what happened and avoid it in the future, that's all. Monitoring goes on to explain what happens in a normal situation. Let me stop you right there. Sorry for doing this, but in the interest of time, we know how your monitoring agent works. What we need to figure out here is what exactly happened. Your system had a time shift, which is why so many incidents got raised. Take those tickets to your queue and resolve them. Do you have any evidence of this fact? Windows, let's review what we all can see, and then start asking anyone to take a look at their systems. We go through all the evidence I lay out for them. Quite a lot of servers got an incident generated for them, and most of those servers were reporting to a specific monitoring server. All of them went off at the same time. All of them seem to have come back on track at the same time. You see these things? Also, none of the servers have an event, which tells us that the system clock was corrected. I have a doubt that either your monitoring server's time was off, or something else was off, due to which the monitoring solution thought that the server's clock was off by over 60 seconds. Monitoring. Please investigate on this topic, and do let us know if you find anything. We disband the call and create a group chat to have further updates on this topic. 2 hours later, monitoring wrote, "We have restarted our service on the monitoring server, because it had crashed. That has caused this whole fiasco." Moral of the story, If you do not present evidence or strong logic to put your suspicions forward, people will push back on any query you put forward. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.